sure how many folks are going to be here because I pivoted on the day. But it's great that you all had got the memo and that you're here. So took a little bit of time off in July, I think folks were aware, so that's why we bumped this. But we've got just a few people to visit with you all today, but let's go ahead and get started. Have David come up and open us up with prayer. So again, thank you for being here.
Let's pray, but before we do that, just a reminder that this Saturday at 1:30 is the memorial service for Lois Eckert, and on Sunday at 2:30 the memorial service for Vance Bateman. And if anybody's got a great story about Lois, see me after the service. All right, let's pray. Dear God, hear us as we pray. May we never forget that the one we come before in prayer is the creator and sustainer of heaven and earth. But you're not only the God that works on a cosmic scale, you're also a local God. You care for us individually and as a community. So we approach you also as the creator of this little piece of real estate here, known as Rolling Green since the days of Hoke and Mildred Smith. And as we become the beneficiaries of this place, help us to become and to continue to be good stewards of what has been entrusted to us. So may we work with you in helping Rolling Green become a land, a property known for its beauty. Not just the natural beauty, but also whatever we and our creative energies with which you've blessed us contribute to the landscape. Guide us to make sustainable decisions that will ensure future generations will marvel at the beauty that has been created here. May we work with you in helping Rolling Green become a home, known for its hospitality and its care. This community is made up of hundreds of individuals, each unique in his or her own way, each with individual needs, but also with unique talents and gifts. So guide us all to grow in appreciation for one another, using our strengths to meet the needs of others. Help us to heed the admonition of Romans 12, to not think too highly of ourselves, but to consider ourselves with humility. And when we do that, we create an atmosphere where compassion and care flows more easily from one to another. And may we work with you in helping Rolling Green become a witness to the world around us. Help us to build a reputation as a community where people with divergent thoughts, drives, talents, beliefs, and convictions can nonetheless thrive together as a community. In these extraordinary times of division in our culture, guide us to be the exception. Indeed, guide us to be the exceptional community that demonstrates how living together in community could and should be. Help us to dream of being extraordinary, of being the community to which others aspire to be, or that they aspire to join. So Lord, give us the vision of who you would have us to be and the will to pursue it. Thank you now for our time together. Guide Ryan as he leads us and leads this meeting, and this we pray in the name of the one who makes all things new. Amen. Amen.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Emily. I'm the new wellness coordinator, for those of you who have not met me. I would love for you to stop by my office and say hello and introduce yourself. I apologize if you've already introduced yourself and I don't remember your name. But I'm learning slowly but surely. So a couple of things that I just wanted to let you know about. We do have a new app on the portal. It's called Fitness. So I'm going to start working on that. Right now it's not set up, but we're slowly but surely going to work on that, get everything on there and organized so that you have everything that has to do with wellness laid out in there for you to look at. So that'll be exciting. Look out for new classes in August. I've kind of been working on seeing what y'all would benefit most from based on what I'm observing. And so we're going to add some new classes in August. And then the Olympics is coming up August 6th through the 8th. So that'll be 3 days that we'll have different events going on. So look out for those. They're already in the highlights. You can read about them. And they're also on the portal, so you can sign up for those if you'd like to participate. You're also more than welcome to observe if you don't feel like participating. We'd love for you to come and watch. And then I think that's pretty much it. But I'm excited to get to know everyone. Does anyone have any questions for me? Yay! Well, if you do have any questions, just please feel free to stop by, email me, give me a call, and I'd be happy to speak with you and get to know you. Okay? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I wanted to let you know that the bus is still on track for us to receive our new bus at the end of August. So I did talk to Ethan today from Classic Bus Sales, and he says it's still on track. I don't have a specific date, but he says end of August, so whatever that means. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so I did find out today, Ryan informed me that the pool will be closing August the 7th. For an undetermined amount of time. It just is based on, how quickly they can get everything done. So we'll be updating you on, the progress and when it might be reopened. So I do have some good news, though, I think. Hopefully it's good news. I have been talking to different places around Greenville about the possibilities of using their pool for us to still have aquatic classes and that kind of thing. So I kind of was wanting to have a date so that way I could just give them, how long it's going to be or kind of roundabout, but have a determined date to let them know when we would start needing it. So I talked to Comfort Suites, that's just right down the street. They have an indoor pool. And so I talked to the lady today, and they have rented their pool out before to other people. So I think they're going to be able to accommodate us, but they're going to let us know by the end of the day tomorrow. So I should have more information on that, but it was really promising. So I'm hoping that's going to happen. Now I can't guarantee that the times of the classes would be the same times that we have now. I did give her those times, and because I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday is at 9, and Tuesday, Thursday it's at 11. So I think we kind of just have to take whatever they can give us, but I still want to have the opportunity to provide aquatic classes. And I've already talked to Cheryl and to Heather who teach those classes. So they are willing to still teach them at another place if they can. Okay. The Olympic opening ceremonies. I've had some people ask if we can watch that up in the dining room. I think Bruce is going to turn it on in the bistro, but we also have the big TV that we use for the Super Bowl, and so that is working. And we can put it in the casual dining room, the Hummingbird casual dining room, and that would be on Friday at noon, because they are starting, I think at around noon. I think it's really like 1 o'clock, but they'll start the coverage early. So some residents were wanting to watch it live. They'll re-show it that evening, but they wanted to watch it live. Now we can have the TV available for other times because I know that there are going to be different things that people want to come and watch. They will show whatever, because France, of course, Paris is 6 hours ahead of us. So things will be happening earlier than maybe we can see them. So they're going to broadcast them every night at 8 o'clock. So the TV will be there if you want to come and watch it. Okay, get together as a group and watch. Emily talked about the fitness icon on the portal. It will have the fitness schedule on there. It'll also have, I told her to, she could put on there whatever she wanted, helpful articles, videos, whatever would pertain to fitness. So it'd be something easy for you to be able to just click on and see like all of the fitness things. I think, have y'all used the one for the clinic? Have y'all checked that out? So it's really nice just to be able to click on there and you can see everything about the clinic or marketing or fundraising or whatever. So we're trying to do more of that, and I think it'll be really beneficial to have the fitness one for you whenever she gets everything on there. The pool lift. The parts have been ordered for the pool lift. Of course, you won't be able to use it for too much longer because the pool is going to be closed. But until then, the pool lift, hopefully it'll be here soon, and then you'll be able to use the lift. I do know that the guys came out to measure the bar for the Wellness Gym 2. So with that little gym that we took some of the equipment out and put in over there where I think they used to have like a clinic conference room or something like that. It's just down the hall from the group fitness room. We made that into like a little gym. So they came out to measure for the bar. So as soon as the bar is put in, we will have the mirrors put in. So that's just a little update about that little fitness room. Not quite finished yet, but almost. I think that's the last part of that. Also, I've had residents ask me about we're doing exercise in the Palmetto conference room. And they've asked me about having mirrors in there. So I did look up, they do have rolling mirrors that we can purchase. They're not a whole lot. So I talked to Emily about it. She thought maybe like 4 rolling mirrors just to put around the room, so that way when you are doing exercise, you can see, you kind of see your form, you know, and that kind of thing. It just helps to make sure you're doing the exercises right. It just helps to make sure you can do exercises right. I know when I'm exercising, I don't like to look in the mirror, but I just want to make sure that everything is how I'm supposed to be doing it. So that's why. And then the last thing is Ollie classes will be starting soon. So the registration will be on starting August 13th. I think that's right. And then the fall classes will start September 9th. Does everybody know what Ollie is? Okay. The 3 classes we will have here, one is Veterans Experiences, and that's taught by Bill Albert, who is our own resident. That'll be on Tuesday at 10:45 in this room. We have Woody, Pete, and Arlo. I can't remember the instructor's name for that, but that'll be Tuesday afternoon at 1:30 in this room. And then we're going to have a power yoga class, and that'll be Thursdays at 9 o'clock in the Palmetto Conference Room. I've had a lot of people ask about yoga. I know Emily's looking at that as far as one of her classes, something kind of like yoga, maybe not quite, but we have the power yoga coming here for Ollie. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look, Molly. It's not one of our own instructors. I don't know who it is. So, but anyway, does anybody have any questions about anything?
Can I make a comment? We are so blessed that y'all are so good to us and so creative with, you know, our little Olympics and watching the big Olympics on the TV and the screen. It's just wonderful.
Thank you. Any more questions or comments or anything? Okay, yes.
Would we be able to make an appointment and go over and use that pool not during the class time?
That part I'm not sure, Cardi, because I know I think there's probably a liability involved in that, and they may just be able to rent it out to us certain times. But as soon as I find out, you know, if they're willing to let us do that, then I'll try to get a little bit more information. Okay. Anybody else? All right. Thank you.
All right, well, hello again. Thank you, Amy. She shared about the pool. I know that's a project that's been hanging out there for a little while. With the pool, we're going to take it one step at a time. Skip had shared with me, we're coordinating a lot of folks between painters, between HVAC, between fire protection, between resurfacing of the floor. One of the delays was scaffolding. So Skip had shared that the painters that we're working with often will be in the school systems during the summer while school is out, and they're utilizing the scaffolding in a lot of school settings. So that was one of the delays that we experienced. But there will be multiple different folks that are working in that space at the same time. Like to give you an update at the next executive director meeting. I also talked with Skip, and I felt it might be good to have Clarity Pools come in, and whoever wants to come and sit and talk, just to understand all the work they're going to be doing. And it may also need for us to have a little bit of a different approach as we redo everything there moving forward with temperature and keeping up with a couple of things. So it'd be good to hear it straight from Clarity Pools what their recommendations are to us. So we might offer that as well in the coming weeks. So it's difficult to give an exact time frame how long the pool is going to be out. We are going to do what we can to get it back in service as quickly as we can. So let's go ahead and jump in. So Amy, jump into the pool. There we go. Yeah. Amy, I appreciate Amy's time today and giving me a chance to meet Emily. Anna Grace left a little bit early today. She's going out of town for a couple days, but I did want to share a little bit of information for her. One was that we indicated that the open houses that we had held for residents from independent living to come over and experience some of the other spaces within memory care have gone really, really well. We'd offered one for the health center, but we've not seen the same degree of attendance. So for now, we're going to pause on those, but she felt it might be good to offer in place of that open house an opportunity for folks to come and maybe ask some questions of Shannon or of Anna Grace and or of the therapist to learn about what things are like in healthcare. Maybe talk a little about insurance, Medicare versus Medicare Advantage. If there's some things and questions that you all have, they would utilize that time for that open house that we were going to use for a health center to answer some of those questions. So that's what she's recommending for the next opportunity to visit. We also are probably going to be offering an open house for Cedars Assisted Living. We've got some great occupancy there. We do have a few open apartments right now, but they're all spoken for. And as we talked before, phase 2, that primary driving force for us to grow is so we can fix assisted living. And I do think it'd be good if folks haven't been over there for them to see and get a chance to walk around. Folks are well cared for there, but as we know, the space is not very open, not very bright. There's not a lot of common spaces for folks to gather, and we know that it can improve. So that open house might also help you to get a chance to get a feel for that. So that's another open house that she's going to have coming up. I want to make sure you're aware too, over the last month we brought in an outside organization called Second Wind Dreams, and they actually held a virtual dementia class for our department heads. And it was kind of a try before you buy, but it is definitely something that we're going to continue with. It's an opportunity for our department heads to immerse themselves with gloves that make it feel like you have arthritis, to put on glasses that simulate cataracts, to put on headphones that simulate an inability to hear as clearly as we do. We feel there's a lot of value in putting our caregivers and putting our staff in the shoes to feel that way as we continue to care for people here. So it was a great opportunity within the last couple weeks. I did miss it when I was on vacation, but we are going to be moving forward with establishing our own kit, and we'll be putting our team through from front lines all the way up to department head teams that experience, and make sure when folks come on and join us that they do truly can be in the shoes of folks with aging challenges. So that's pretty neat to hear about, and one that not everybody has gone through. And I felt that, in my experience, I wish I would have gone through something like that earlier to truly understand what folks are experiencing. So within the Evergreen Place, within the license areas, Evergreen Place, we have 15 residents out of 22. I believe we did have one new move-in today, so that would be up to 16. So we do have 6 open rooms there. Within Cedars Assisted Living, we do have 4 open apartments, but those are spoken for, and we have 2 scheduled move-ins slated. There's just TBD to be determined. Within the health center, we have 43 rooms that are occupied out of 48. We have had quite a few folks that have passed away since May. I think she shared with me it was 20 that have passed since May, from May moving forward to today. So that's a lot of loss. So we do have some slated move-ins as well coming up. And then within rehab we have 13. So we have experienced some openings there out of 22. I think we have 4 admissions coming today, and we had 3 admissions on Monday. So that rehab area does continue to fluctuate depending upon how long folks stay through rehab. But it also fluctuates depending upon how long the hospital will keep someone. I know we had a resident that was returning to us that kept them an extra night just to be mindful of somebody's condition. So that does kind of change, and we try to be as flexible as we can. So we're a little bit under our budget at 56 today, on a budget of 59, but after today we'll be moving back up in the right direction. But year to date, the health center has definitely done a great job of serving and caring for folks. So that was all that I had for her update, and let's jump into my side of the equation. So I wanted to share with you all the financial results for June, and we had another good month. We exceeded our operating revenue, so the actual line, by about $83,000, and that comes back to the really strong numbers within the health center, the occupancy there between rehab and healthcare, but then also the apartments continue to exceed expectations. The number of folks we budgeted compared to the number of folks that we're serving. We do continue to have a wait list, and when there's an apartment that comes open, it can take between 60 and 90 days for that apartment to be turned around, and also for the future resident to sell their home, set up the logistics and be ready for that move. So we do have a few more. I just met a couple today that's going to be moving. I think they said the 5th. So we do continue to have great demand, and when those apartments do come open, we are seeing folks come in not too long afterwards. So we're grateful for those revenues to exceed what we had planned for and budgeted. On the operating expense side, we did exceed that goal by about $78,000, so we were over that budget. A lot of that does come back to some of our wages. Within food and beverage, we're serving more people than we ever have, and that does require more cooks to make sure that we can execute on the service. It also requires the same over in the health center areas, where we're seeing more people than we had budgeted. Within the health center, we do continue to utilize temporary staff, and that does cost a little bit more. When we have open positions, we need to make sure that it's filled, so whether it's overtime or if it's a temporary staff member, that is also contributing to the overage that we experience. We do have things that that break, that are unexpected as well, that not are all capitalized, and we've been doing some other improvements that can't be capitalized that we'll talk about in a little bit. We feel strongly that the improvements, we want to continue to make sure that we can keep up with the campus. So total net operating income did exceed the goal by $5,400. So that's a good month. Let's keep moving along. The Wellness Center pool, we talked a little bit about that. Just wanted to put that in writing as far as our plan getting started. So 2 weeks from today, we'll get started. And appreciate Amy's willingness to coordinate and collaborate with the local pool provider, and we'll continue to kind of see where that goes. On the curb appeal side, I talked about some of the work that we're doing. So we have removed some sweet gum trees near the cottages along Hoke Smith. We put some boulders or some big rocks in that place as you kind of turn the corner as you come up to the cottages. We left a little spot there to make sure that we can access that space where the detention-retention pond is, and also for cutting the grass back there. We've also repainted the back gate and replaced some shrubs with the Commons front entrance. The Commons has been around for 4 years, and we noticed that some of the beds were not filling in like others were. So some of them look really good, some of them looked really sporadic. And after 4 years, we realized maybe that's not the right type of plant in that space based upon sun and shade and lack of water. So we're swapping those out to make sure that they will grow in and look a lot better. We've also installed drip lines at the Commons raised planters. The 2 planters that are out there, they've been there for a while. Some folks were teasing me because I was the person watering them sometimes in the mornings when I was coming in. So we planted them last year and felt that it was important to have the planters have that drip line to keep them alive. We also recently installed pine straw around the apartments. When they first came out, they installed the pine straw around the village center, and the gentleman that came in with the truck didn't have all the information, so he needed, I think, 3 trucks, and he only came in with 1. So it took Brightview a little bit to reschedule their team to come out, but it looks a lot better after the installation. I think it was Friday. The lakeside sidewalk improvements, we have done a little bit of work internally, and that focus has really been on cleaning up and stabilizing the shoreline. We did go ahead and pull out the bridge that was there, and we also removed some of that sidewalk that was broken up. And in its place, we've been putting some matting and some riprap stone from the edge of our property, moving towards the corner there along the lake. We are going to be pausing that riprap stone installation, the solidification of the shoreline, as we now seek to get some outside contractors to give us bids on the rest of that work. And we haven't met with the lakeside residents. We're going to meet again, but we're looking for 2 different proposals. One would be to re-put in a sidewalk. The other one will be not to do that. So we want to see what that difference is. Does it make sense to put it back in or not? So we won't know that until we get those 2 bids from local contractors. But once we get those bids, we will visit with the lakeside residents and talk through what we learned, and then that feedback will inform the final decision that we make. So I just want to make sure folks know we're not doing anything further, but we did feel it was important to try to solidify some things. We could do that a little bit internally with the help of Allison Brothers, and
and we're gonna pause for now and then get started once we get those bids and figure out the direction. One thing I didn't add at the bottom here before we switch slides is the pickleball courts. We're continuing to work through our planning for the temporary pickleball courts. We go back here in the green space on the other side of the parking lot. Working with SFCS and the Clancy and Phase as the construction partner that we have. The worst case scenario that we could start would be November 15th, but we're hopeful it might move up a little bit. So we're working on finalizing the plans and submitting the next round to the county by August 8th, and we'll have a little bit more information then and see how quickly they can turn that around if they have any concerns or any questions. But we will definitely be getting started with that. There's going to be 2 pickleball courts and a bocce ball court in that space. So we'll keep you all posted once we are able to get started, but I know we're excited. It's something we've been talking about for years, and something that we wanted to move up in our Phase 2 project because we didn't want to wait until the end to put that in. It's going to be a few years, but I think it is going to create a great space for residents as we move forward. Let's move along to, yes. Let's see, if you go back. Hope Smith. There you go, okay. So the Hook Smith sidewalk project is still on hold. We're waiting for Duke Power to give us some direction on the primary power line that lies underneath that sidewalk. We've not been able to get a contact. Skip recently has asked, can the engineers come out and walk it with us and us talk through what the plan will be. So we are going to continue to pause on that project until we can get feedback from Duke. We do not want to take out the power if we were to pull out on some of the sidewalk, or if the tree roots were to uproot the power line. So we're gonna pause there. A good thing that we've been working on, which I think a lot of folks have seen, is the Village Green Courtyard. I think some residents, particularly in the patio homes, may not know about that space, and I really would encourage you to stop out sometime. We have a resident subcommittee that's working with the leadership team to improve that space. So in this last month, we received the final billing for the plinths that were installed, and these plinths are little small boxes that we installed some flower pots on and planters to create a little bit of color in the space. We also installed drip lines to those pots to make sure that they stay watered. We've been working with a landscape architect to design that space and really kind of focus next step on what the structure is going to look like. We have the arbor that's in there that's being overtaken by wisteria and kind of tilting. So the landscape architects with Earth Design, and they've given us some renderings and some things to think about. And the subcommittee's been visiting, and we've got a couple of really neat ideas. We're also talking about potentially bringing in local artists to create a couple of sculptures in that space to give a little bit of a different element. So there's still some more work to be done, but we'll be visiting, I think it's August 6th, with the landscape architect to kind of talk through what that space could possibly look like. But I've appreciated the collaboration of the folks on that team, the Village Green Courtyard team, and I do think we've made some really great progress and walked through. It looks really good. The Village Green lobby furniture, a lot of that furniture has been delivered. There still are, I think, a couple pieces that we're waiting on. We have done a lot of painting, refreshing the wall colors, and also the furniture. I know there's been some feedback from residents around some of it, and I've offered to visit with them and talk through what they like and maybe some small adjustments that we can make. I did that for the E-building because we did have a couple folks in the E-building take down artwork and move furniture, and I said we can't do that, but we can collaborate and we can partner and come up with maybe a little bit of a different design. But we don't want to move furniture around. But we'll be visiting with those folks to kind of see once it's all finalized with the paint and with the pictures up, to see what we like and what we can negotiate towards to make sure it feels like home and make sure it feels more comfortable. I do think that was a long overdue project. A lot of that furniture had been around for quite a while, and some of the floor coverings as well. So that'll be nice to get to the end of that project as well, and then to get resident feedback. Again, we want it to be comfortable. One item I didn't add to the list, but I wrote in here that we got done within the last few weeks, which is long overdue, was the salad bar at the Commons. Folks like that? Anybody notice? Yes. Some people. Okay. Everybody went silent. We've been trying to figure out what to do, and one estimate was you got to take the whole thing down and put a brand new countertop on, and we thought that was a little bit excessive. So Skip continued to ask that question and found a local cabinet maker who did feel comfortable with coming in and just simplifying the current countertop. So we were able to do that. It did cause a little bit more dust than we had hoped or planned for, but I do think that the final product looks really good. And I've heard a lot of folks are really happy with it. So it's great to finally put that small project behind us and make sure that it works for us. I want to move forward with phase 2. So this is a little bit of a refresher, reminder. Communicated this last time we visited, that back on May 23rd, the Rolling Green Village Board of Directors voted to approve us moving forward from priority sales into the sales process of phase 2. And we planned for that to start July 8th. So again, just kind of refreshing. We had a resident town hall back in June 18th where we brought in folks from SFCS, the architecture team. And I think that was a pretty good opportunity for you all to visit and kind of understand the level of expertise that we're partnering with to make sure that we're successful. We'll have another presentation coming up probably September, October, where Tom Bowden from HJ Sims will come and talk to us about financing, how financing works in aging services. I think that'll be a really good opportunity. Tom's great. And want to make sure folks knew that slide deck was available for the town hall on the resident portal. So keep moving along. So we're continuing as we finish the phase 2 final schematic design. The total project cost did come back to $140 million. So it's a little bit more than what we had planned. The original numbers were 121. So we started the priority sales process on July 8th. And the priority sales process is off to a really good start. So we have 32 sales within a matter of 16 days. So that's 32 commitments of 10% of the cost of that unit, which is a really good conversion number. We've not gotten through the whole 100 yet. We're just kind of halfway through. We actually had 6 people that probably would have given us a commitment say, I want to come here, but I can't wait that long. So they did not convert, but so this number could have been a little bit higher, and we'll probably continue to see that. But 32 is a really solid number. The total goal is going to be 90. So the sales and marketing team is hopeful to get to 40 by the end of this month, which is next week, and that'll put us just a little bit short of halfway there to that goal. Through this sales process, I'm learning and working with the development team. You typically do see this really good spike at the beginning because we have folks that have been sitting around for a couple of years, and it will slow down, and there's going to be folks that decide to change their mind. There's going to be folks that might pass away. There's going to be folks that can no longer live independently due to a change in health condition. So we're going to continue to keep that sales effort for a period of time, but I did want to share that it's off to a really good start. Similar to phase 1, it's kind of what we experienced. We had COVID happen and a lot of things changed. So it is an extended process, but it's really great to see that the market is responding and that we've got a great start. So as I mentioned, at next town hall, we'll invite Tom Sims from HJ Sims, that's the investment banking partner, to speak to you all about how financing and funding works in our field. So Tom was on the team that helped to finance phase 1 as well. So he has a lot of great knowledge about how the financing worked for phase 1 and then how it's going to roll out for phase 2. And I think by that point in time we'll have a little bit more information for you as well to share on the financing side. So the interim financing that we have the board approved back on May 23rd is $5.5 million, and that will cover all the costs for the construction, for the architecture, for the development, for the sales and marketing effort through December of next year. All right, moving along. Can we go to the next slide? What's it say? Battery's running low. Okay. There's been a lot of there's been a few questions around the Rolling Green Village Prayer Chapel, so I wanted to give an update today, and then also a stay tuned. So myself and Judy and David have been working together. Back in late May, after a significant pause, we did decide to hit the reset button on the project, and at that time we reopened dialogue with our anonymous donor. We reviewed our initial project plans, and we discussed a small number of design changes that the team felt was necessary as we moved forward and reset on the project. And recently we received feedback from a donor that they had experienced a change of heart and that their commitment to fully fund the prayer chapel had changed. So wanted you all to be aware of that. We fully support the donor's decision to change course, and Judy, David, and I are extremely grateful for the donor's grace, patience, and support that provided the seed capital for us to get started on the prayer chapel. And again, it's a space that we've not had for years, and we feel strongly about that definitely needs to be here in our community. So Judy, David, and I visited after hearing of this decision, and we agreed that we're going to leverage the progress that we've achieved so far and begin our own fundraising effort to achieve the goal of building a prayer chapel here. So, we understand that residents feel this has been ongoing for quite a while, but we do want you to know that we will have some exciting news as Judy kind of starts to roll out how we're going to move forward. We have re-engaged the architect, and to give us a little bit more of a timeline and also give us a feel for what the funding is going to look like, since it's been well over a year since we've continued to move the project forward. But I did want to share that with you all, and we're excited. I think that's one of the reasons why Judy is here with us, to help us make sure that this chapel becomes a reality. And we're like I said, we're extremely grateful. We've got a lot of great progress that's been made on the design, and we're going to continue to leverage that progress as we move forward. So stay tuned. Will be some more information coming up about the prayer chapel in collaboration with Judy. And the last slide that I have, and before I open up to some questions, it's 3:40. I was hopeful to have Anna Grace share this with you, but we got a really good letter from a resident that lives here that I wanted to share with you all. So this is dated July 10th, and it was to Anna Grace. And again, I'm sorry she couldn't read it for you, but let me read this for you. So this is to inform you that recently I asked for rehabilitation after surgery from a fall with a broken elbow and balance issues for my 84-year-old sister. I won't put her name there, but the asking of the hospital staff at Rolling Green Village was due to having heard nothing but praise for the facility in my almost 5 years as a Patty Home resident. The resident was in rehab for several weeks, and the experience surpassed any and all the good things that person had heard. From the admissions team to the rehab staff, the dining room, to the room servicing staff and the physical therapy team, the services and attention was simply great, resulting in a very pleasant and productive experience. Having spent many visits with the sister, he had the privilege to observe a constant display of professionalism, kindness, attentiveness from virtually everyone on the staff. There was a very clear desire to not only care for her, but also to comfort, as a sense of, we will get you up and going for a smooth return to your normal lifestyle with full recovery, all with a smile. So I hope you will pass this along to the rehabilitation staff and our appreciation for them. So I'm sorry, it kind of gets me choked up a little bit. This just kind of comes back to the reason why we're here and the challenges that we have. But it's great to get that feedback, and it was a really good note. So I did want to share that with you. Like I said, I wish that Anna Grace would share that with you, but that's really special to hear. So that was all I have. Who has the first question for me? And then I want to make sure you know we have to finish up here by 4 because there's a meeting next door and we have all their chairs. So I have about 18 minutes. Sorry. Who has the first question?
I have a comment to make. About an hour and a half ago, a gentleman came to my front door soliciting. He was not selling. He said that they would install free security cameras inside and outside the house. I live in a cottage, okay? And I told him that he was not supposed to be soliciting in our neighborhood. And after he left, he went to several other neighbors. But I called security and no one ever showed up.
Okay.
I think we need to have, when something like that gets reported, because he was there for a while and then when he left, he turned right and I'm sure he headed towards Morningside.
Okay. Skip, I don't know if you have any feedback there.
You want me to say that?
No, I wasn't aware of that. Please, if let you know, Anne's on vacation this week, so we're trying to handle the phones and do all that with her out. Security, what time was this?
About an hour and a half ago.
About 2 o'clock.
Was it about 2:30 or so?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a little before that.
Yeah. So I don't know. So you just called security didn't answer the phone. I'll check that and see what's going on.
I talked
Make
to
sure.
someone at security.
You
Did
did?
you call the cell phone or did you call the maintenance line? Call the cell phone security number?
I don't
You
know.
remember? Okay. Well, if you can check and let
Yeah.
Skip know. But you said you did talk to someone?
I did talk to
Okay.
someone, and he asked me for my address, and I gave it to him.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Why did you do that? Security said? Oh, security did.
Yeah, security. Okay. So you did call and talk to someone?
I did talk to
Okay, but then you said they never showed up. Okay, so that was my first question, is making sure somebody responded. So you did talk to someone, but they never came to the home. Okay.
That
Okay.
happened to me about a year ago, and I had the same problem. I called security, and there was no answer.
Okay.
So I wonder, should we press our pendants instead?
We want to call and talk to security. We want to call and talk to security first. There is a cell phone that's carried 24/7. So I wouldn't wait too long before you call back. But if there's not somebody, yes, I think you can push that pendant for a response. But there should be someone. They may be tied up with something, but they should contact you back. There should never be a no response.
This individual had tattoos all over the place and was not dressed in any kind of uniform. He said
Okay.
he was here to fix my AT&T security system,
Okay.
same kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, we do want to know that. We do want to be aware, and we'll have Skip follow up as far as today, right around 2:30, to get more information. But yes, we should be able to receive that feedback and then also respond. And I know sometimes we have a no solicitation sign in my neighborhood, but you still have folks from AT&T that will come. They will often come around on one of the
No trucks, no.
Yeah, they have a little scooter sometimes that they'll use to get
He
around.
was from Vivid.
Vivid, yeah.
And they are a legitimate business, but whether he actually works for them.
Yes.
He has one of their shirts on. The number I called was 420-2836.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so there's a cell phone number. Okay. So we'll definitely follow up.
That young man also came to Morningside.
420-2836. Yes. Yeah, Vivint it's the security system kind of wing of AT&T. I don't know if they separated from AT&T, but yes, that is something that we need to follow up on. Who has the next question? Go ahead.
That young man also came to Morningside, and I gave him the same spiel. He was on a transformer, a type of Segway.
Segway, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he
Well-
was well warned.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know. All right. Next question.
We need to bunch them up here. Y'all making me work my exercise here. Over there. Yeah, that's right. I do need it. I think over this side.
Bill and I called security yesterday and had to use our beeper because someone had fallen in the neighborhood. They didn't answer the phone.
Okay. What time was that? 4 p.m. Okay.
Y'all don't let Ryan off this easy. Come on, ask him some questions.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Can you tell us about the mowing behind the patio homes in the ravine under the power lines? Usually it gets done a couple times a year. It hasn't been done yet this year.
Okay, what she's referring to is on this side of Hope Smith where the future build's going to be, where the power lines are. We nearly bush hog that, but right now the tractor and all the resources are going into the shoreline project. And that's where we're bringing rocks and stuff over there. So we're using that equipment to do that. Part of the reason, too, is right now we're sort of in a drought. We're trying to take advantage of that on the shoreline before we start getting the rain that raises it back up. So we will do that, but the priority right now is trying to get all that rock moved over there along the shoreline erosion project so we can get it in before we get caught with the rain.
Just wonder what happened.
Yeah, but we'll be doing the field up on the top and then all that area back down in like we've done in the past. So thanks for your patience.
Who was the next question? I did want to introduce Joe Mooney over here, the gentleman in the gray. I told him he could sneak in. But we have a visit. He's with Life Care Services based out of Des Moines, and he's on the financial services team. So he and Eric Austin came in Sunday, and they're helping us. On a monthly basis, they visit with us, and he's on a screen, and I felt like it was really important to have them come out here and walk the property with us, understand the patio home concept that we have, which is very unique, but then also kind of dive in with our department head team as we move forward with our planning for the 2025 budget. He was instrumental in supporting us last year when Lynn had resigned and we were just close to the end of the budget, and Joe definitely stepped up to help us finish it, and we appreciate his support. So I said, hey, it was a great meeting at 3. It'd be good for you to come in and get a chance to get a feel for the stuff that we do. So, but he does a lot of things behind the scenes, and we're extremely grateful for his support for him and Eric this week. So if you see him around, you can definitely say hello. He's here tomorrow, and then they leave tomorrow afternoon. Next question. We still have a few minutes. Happy to answer.
I understand why you're consulting with Lakeside about the sidewalk, but I thoroughly enjoyed walking that sidewalk. And if it could just be paved just to where the bridge used to be, it was not in bad shape until you had to put all the rock there, which I understand that too. But there's some others of us not on Lakeside that really enjoy that sidewalk, walking that every morning.
Yeah, and that definitely could still be an option. We just want to see what the cost is. And the other thought would be, could we put a sidewalk on the other side of the lake, because it would be easier for us to access. Right now there is going to be some continued difficulty with the way that the slope is in us rebuilding. There's likely going to need to be some retaining walls put in that space where the pond is to secure that slope. So putting in a sidewalk and having that there is going to make it continue to be a challenge. So we wondered, as far as upkeep, what would be the better solution? So we are going to look at that option, in addition to maybe doing something on the other side. And we want to see what the delta is, what's the difference, before we make a determination. But there is a possibility. We're kind of leaning the other way, though, to be honest with you, towards the other side, because it's much easier to access. You don't have to deal with easements and where the homes are that are so close, because it is pretty tight when it starts to slope down.
I want both sides.
Yeah. So we'd like to look at those two options before we make a decision. But that's a good point. Thank you for sharing that. Who has the next question? Anybody have any questions for Joe? We can put him on the spot. Well, I don't want us to sit here in silence, so welcome to finish up. I'm glad to answer any questions after this. I do appreciate everybody's time and appreciate the opportunity, and as always, appreciate that buzz and that sense of community that we have of folks creating these connections. So thank you all for your time.